Good evening and welcome. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner Clark Kellogg, bringing you the 2K Sports NCAA Selection Show. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There are a couple of major changes in the rankings as March Madness approaches. The Duke Blue Devils jumped all the way from the number 11 spot to number 6.
They're peaking at just the right time, Greg. This is exactly the way you want to be playing going into the tournament.
Also, a new team has fought its way into the top 25. The Texas Longhorns are back in the poll as the number 23 team. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA Tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
LaSalle has had some great games and some forgettable ones, too. Its future comes down to which games the committee is willing to overlook.
You got that right, and who else might be in the same position?
Oregon put together a solid season, but their record just isn't impressive enough to make them a no-brainer bid. If the committee doesn't give weight to their tough conference, they could be out of luck.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The North Carolina Tar Heels are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked number 1 in the media poll for the past 16 weeks. We'll soon find out if they can live up to their billing. On to the second number 1 seed, who will play in the South Regional. The San Francisco Dons are seeking their 3rd NCAA championship in school history. The Syracuse Orange are our 3rd number 1 seed, and they'll play in the Midwest Regional. They return to the tournament after not making the field last year, so this will be a new experience for some of their younger players. And finally, our 4th number 1 seed will play in the West Regional. The Oklahoma Sooners are in the tournament field as a number 1 seed for the 5th time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number 1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the South Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Midwest Regional will play the winner of the West Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 5th. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April 7th. Any surprises in there for you, Clark?
Not really. We talked all week about these 4 teams being the solid number 1 seed, and I think the selection committee got it right. There isn't a whole lot of controversy with these picks.
So, with the number 1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The North Carolina Tar Heels are the top seed, finishing at 29-4. They were winners of the regular season championship in the ACC. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between College of Charleston with 15 wins and North Carolina A&T from the MEAC. And now the number 8 seed, the Florida Gators, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Maryland Terrapins, who were 8th in their conference, finishing at 21-10. Memphis comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 27-7. And they will take on the 12th seed from the WAC, the San Jose State Spartans, with 21 wins. Virginia enters the field as the number 4 seed from the ACC. This will be their 17th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed. The Akron Zips finished the season with 22 wins.
The Virginia Cavaliers have got to be among the group of teams that has a chance to win the whole thing. I love the way they play on both ends of the floor. I'd be shocked if they don't at least advance from their bracket to the Final Four. But more than that, I think they've got a legitimate shot to win some hardware.
The Kansas State Wildcats are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Tennessee Volunteers, with 23 wins. Georgetown comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 23-9. Missouri Kansas City comes in to face them at number 14 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the conference. Our number 7 seed is from the Big East. The Red Storm of St. John's were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Utah Utes, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-9. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons have established themselves as one of the best teams from the ACC. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Texas Arlington Mavericks, with 16 wins. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA Tournament in the history of their school. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. Next up, we'll take a look at the South Regional. The San Francisco Dons are the top seed, finishing at 32-1. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the West Coast Conference. They'll take on the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, the number 16 ranked team. This is their third appearance in the NCAA Tournament in team history. Finishing at 18-11, Oklahoma State comes in to face them at number 9 with 23 wins and a legion of loyal fans just dying for some tournament success. Alabama enters the field as the number 5 seed from the SEC. This will be their 20th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the St. Joseph's Hawks. Finished the season with 21 wins.
The Alabama Crimson Tide will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Illinois comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 29-5. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Sun Belt Conference, the New Orleans Privateer, with 20 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Arizona State Sun Devils, come into the tournament on the strength of a third-place finish in their conference regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Detroit Titans, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 26-4. The California Golden Bears are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the VMI Cadets, with 19 wins. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Villanova Wildcats have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the South Carolina Gamecocks, with 23 wins. This is their 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Our number 2 seed is from the Missouri Valley Conference. The Wichita State Shockers had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Stetson Hatters, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 18-15. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. On to our third bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Midwest Regional. The Syracuse Orange are the top seed, finishing at 28-6. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Big East. They'll take on the Georgia State Panthers, the number 16 ranked team. This is their third appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 8 seed is from the Big East. The Louisville Cardinals were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Arkansas Razorbacks, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-10. The Florida State Seminoles are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Indiana State Sycamores, with 23 wins. Houston enters the field as the number 4 seed from Conference USA. This marks their 19th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Holy Cross Crusaders. Finished the season with 15 wins.
The Houston Cougars do the one thing that all great teams absolutely must do, and that's play tremendous team defense. These guys have been shutting down opponents all year with a combination of speed, intelligence, and sheer determination. There have been NCAA championship teams of all shapes and sizes, but all of them played good, strong defense.
Texas comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 26-9. And they take on the 11th seed from the A-10 Conference, the Rhode Island Rams, with 26 wins. And now the number 3 seed, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, come into the tournament on the strength of a third-place finish in their conference regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Rider Broncs, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-13. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Santa Clara Broncos, with 23 wins. This is their 12th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. UNLV comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 29-3. Boston University comes in to face them at number 15 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the America East Conference. It's the first question every Selection Sunday: which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. And finally, let's have a look at the West Regional. The Oklahoma Sooners are the top seed, finishing at 28-3. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Big 12. They'll take on the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Missouri Tigers have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big 12. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the USC Trojans, with 19 wins. This will be their 14th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. West Virginia comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 22-10. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Ivy League, the Princeton Tigers, with 21 wins. Iowa State comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 24-8. Murray State comes in to face them at number 13 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the Ohio Valley Conference. Our number 6 seed is from Conference USA. The Texas El Paso Miners had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Bradley Braves, who were second in their conference, finishing at 24-7. The Minnesota Golden Gopher are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Blue Devils of Central Connecticut State, with 17 wins. And now the number 7 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 22-10. Duke enters the field as the number 2 seed from the ACC. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Tigers of the Pacific finished the season with 15 wins.
The Duke Blue Devils are fresh off the championship of one of the toughest conference tournaments in all of college basketball, and you can't underestimate the effect that has on the confidence of these young men. I'm sure they're thinking that anything is possible right now. I think you've definitely got to look at them as one of the most dangerous teams in the entire field.
What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. What are your thoughts on our top 16 seeds, Clark?
Wake Forest Demon Deacon are a surprise to me as a 2 seed. They weren't quite strong enough to warrant that kind of position. They were more suited to get in as a 3 seed. Oklahoma is the softest of the top seeds. I'm not going to say exactly when they'll go down, but if I had to pick a number 1 team that won't be at the Final Four, it would be them.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The ACC gets 8 teams. The Big East with 7 out of the SEC. The Big 12 gets 6 teams.
It was really an up year for the teams in the Missouri Valley Conference. They topped the non-power conferences with the number of bids they got, and it shows you how far this conference has come. They're becoming dominant at that level.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney, and I don't expect any David and Goliath stories out of the teams that did get in.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in the Big Ten. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
Let's come back to the bubble teams that we mentioned earlier in the show and see which of the teams were able to get into the tournament.
Santa Clara must feel a whole lot better now than they did before the show started. Their ticket is punched, and they're on their way to the dance. But frankly, I'm not sure for just how long they'll be dancing.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
Loyola Marymount
is a good team, but sometimes that's just not enough if you don't come from a power conference. This'll sting, but I'm sure they'll use the snub as motivation for next year's season.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.